Hey y'all, it is Monday night, the 5th. I am out in the chicken coop because, believe it or not, it's quieter out here than it is in the house. But I had one of those days where it was just, sorry, I don't know what that was. One of those days where things just did not seem to go at all like I was hoping it would. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff at work, seeing as it's slow over there, I'm trying to get some other things done. Trying to do some projects around the office, trying to get it so that it's more presentable, more user friendly. Just trying to work on it best I can. So today I was trying to put a shelf up in the lab. And, something as simple as a shelf. It has 2 screw holes, one on each side. It's got a little guide that you put up. I measured out where the counter was. I wanted it to be an extension of the counter. The only problem is that you can't get the screwdriver in between where the cabinet and counter is and the wall. So I could not get that in there. And the screws went right in, but they went in too far, so I had to put in the little concrete, or the little the little sheetrock anchor things. I could not get them in there. They wouldn't go. And I'm thinking, why won't they go in? So I remember seeing a hammer in some of the stuff I was cleaning out. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to go get the hammer and I'm going to tap it in, just like you're supposed to. So I went and got the hammer, went to tap it in, and the friggin' thing broke. It snapped off. So I go ahead and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try it anyway. So I went ahead and put the screw in, and it worked. Okay. So I took the other part of it, the second part, the part that has the little hole that's supposed to be the end that goes, that sticks out of the wall that, they screw into. I took that part and I tried to put that in the other hole. I even had a hex wrench from one of the other projects that I've done over there, and I used that to really open up the hole so that it would fit in there. I got it pounded in, but it still wasn't good enough. The screw kept coming out. So then I thought, oh gosh, I made the hole too big. Well, now I've got 2 holes in the wall, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to have to figure out how to put this up. So I sat there, me and my ADHD hyper-focused brain, trying to figure out how to get this to work. Pretty soon I realized it's lunchtime, and I've still got, a bunch of stuff to do. So I'm like, all right, I got to get stuff done. So I, make my lunch, and then I go and sit down, and I'm doing some stuff in the office, doing some work in there while I'm eating. And next thing I know, it is 1 o'clock, and it's time for walk-ins to start. So fortunately, I was done eating at that point. So I put my stuff away, whatever, but I don't want to be in the middle of something back there when somebody comes in. So I chose to stay in the office and work on my stuff that I can easily, abandon at the moment when somebody comes in. Well, nobody really, I shouldn't say that. I had 2 people walk in. The weather wasn't great today, and people were afraid of it being icy, I guess, or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm sitting in there trying to figure out what to do next, and my next appointment wasn't coming in for quite a while. So, you know what? I'm going to go back to that shelf, and I'm going to try to figure it out. So I got in there, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I need it to be level with the counter because I want to move our vacuum machine over a little bit more to give us more room on the counter. And I thought, okay, so in order to do that, at first, what I was going to do is put the shelf up and then we have these black, like those little bin things that you can put like your little screws and stuff in, we've got a couple of those. And I thought, well, we could put one of those on each shelf, and that way it'll get them off the counter and give us more room. Well, that clearly was not happening. But then when I looked at those stupid black things, I'm like, stupid, you can hang these things. So I used the screws from the other shelf to hang the first one, and it worked. And I'm like, oh, cool. Except now I don't have screws for the other shelf. But you know what? I don't need the other shelf right now because I'm going to hang the other one. So I happened to go in the back, and I think I remember seeing screws when I was moving stuff around. And I'm like, I swear I know where they are. I went in there, and sure enough, there they were. But they were flathead, not... Oh my goodness, what are you guys doing? They were flathead, not Phillips. So I had a flathead, and I have a little electric drill thing, and and you can turn it so that it's like this shape, and then you can also turn it so that it's, oh my goodness, so that it's it's straight up and down. So I had a flathead on there, so I went ahead and used that, and I struggled because it kept slipping off of there, and I'm like, this is why people don't use them apparently. So I was really struggling with that. Then I finally got that hung up. My goodness, what is falling down? Anyway, so I got that up, but then I still have all these holes over there that I want to cover, and I want to get that shelf up because I can still move the vacuum over and still give us plenty of room on the counter to do things. So I take I'm like, okay, so the shelf itself, because it needs to have extra in between, because there's like, I don't know, like a half inch between where the shelf stops and the counter starts. So I'm like, I'm going to need something about that size. And then I was like, ding, 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 I have shelves on a shelving unit that's going in the garbage. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. So I went and got it. And it's one of those, like a solder thing, where it's like the press board with the little laminate on it. So I have these flathead screws, and I measured out everything. I measured it twice, didn't have to cut anything. So I measured it, had it all marked. Everything was perfect. I had it set and leveled on there. Everything was great. And I took my little drill and I took my little screws and I went to screw them in so that I could get them all set and hang them up on the wall. And they wouldn't go in. Who knew that laminate was hard as heck, and then the press board underneath was even harder. It's like concrete. So anyway, I got that going. I ended up taking a drill that... it was a hand drill, so it had like a little knob handle on it, and then a drill bit about this long, but it was about the right size around. So I used that by hand, and I've got this thing on the floor, and I'm standing on top, and I'm just pushing down on it, pushing down and turning, and I got all 4 holes drilled by hand in this stupid thing. And I thought, okay, perfect. It goes all the way through, so I should have no problem getting these screws in there, right? Apparently, the screws are just a tad bigger than that hole, and they were not going to go any farther than about halfway. And I'm thinking to myself, you little sons of... So I got really frustrated, and I put them down on the ground, and I stood on top, and I'm pushing with the screwdriver, and every time I would push, it would go down about a turn and a half, and all of a sudden, think, it would just slip. And it was like, oh my God. And same thing again. It's, oh my God. I tell you what, I'm surprised I still have fingers. Yeah, it was insane. So I finally, at about 4:30, finally said, okay, you know what? I'm done. I am done with this. tonight when I got home, I had already written on a note for myself that I had to remember to grab a handful of Phillips screws. And I need to get a ratchet because I still can't get the screw thing in between the cabinet and the thing. Even if I'm doing the other thing, it just ain't working. So, but I got to have that shelf on there in order to cover the holes that I already punched in the freaking wall. So, yeah. And the whole time I am just sweating and, leaning over and doing all that stuff on the, and all that exertion. And then I stand up and I damn near fell over twice. So yeah, it has been a day. And then, it's just been a day. So I'm hoping that tomorrow is going to go better. I am trying my best to be positive today, and it's just not working, but it could be worse. It could be worse. I know a lot of people out there who are struggling with other things, struggling with parents that are ill, or parents that are going through dementia, or family that's ill, or I know a lot of people out there that are struggling right now. So this could have been a lot worse. So I'm hoping that this was maybe a comedic journey into my rather unfortunate day, I guess. Nothing really seemed to go right, but that's okay. Because, it is what it is. But anyway, hopefully tomorrow will go better. And if it does, I will get you some pictures and I'll show you what I did. Yeah. And hopefully I don't show you a mess. But anyway, love you guys. And you guys have a good night. And I'm going to try to do the same. And then we'll be right back at it tomorrow. So see you later. Love you guys. Bye.